Well, hello, St. John Lutheran Church. Pastor Luke here with a message regarding St. John's financial situation. So this last weekend, the chairman of our congregation, Doug Pingle, made an announcement prior to each service regarding our finances. And just some information, our giving is significantly down for 2023. And as of last week, it's probably a little different now, but as of last week, we were having a shortfall of $25,000 for our budget. And so we are sharing this message not to be alarmist, but to be informed that the congregation, you as a congregation might be informed, but also to be faithful stewards of what God has given us moving forward. On the one hand, it's a helpful reminder that, God, He does not need our money. But it is a reality that ministry requires funds to operate. We need money to pay for electricity and paper, maintenance, payroll, caring for others, to give some of our money away, and so on. We require finances to be able to do all of that. But God does provide. God provides for us spiritually, physically, emotionally, and financially. As Christians, we certainly do trust in God's provision, and we thank God for all that He gives us. But God also expects us to be good and faithful stewards and servants of that which He gives us. And so as Christians, we live in the tension of trusting that God does and will provide, but also striving to be good stewards of our time, talents, and treasures. And so as we ask each member of St. John to seriously pray over and reflect upon their giving to St. John, let's also look for all that God has done and continues to do in our congregation. Because God is doing a lot of amazing things here. Let's not forget, we continue to have a number of baptisms. This next week, or in a couple weeks rather, we are welcoming several new members that have joined our church in the last year or so. This last weekend, we confirmed 21 young men and women. How awesome is that, to be able to celebrate confirmation? And also in just our weekly rhythm of worship, we continue to receive the gospel. We continue to receive Jesus. We hear His word, we receive His sacraments, we receive His forgiveness. And as mundane as that might be, that is the main thing. That's why we're here, to gather around Christ and His word. And so God continues to do amazing things here with us and for us here at St. John. And so in all that, there is no need to panic. Christ is still with us here at St. John, and God will provide. But we do need to be faithful stewards of what God has given us. And if you remember back in Epiphany, I encouraged us as a congregation in the midst of several changes and transitions to ponder anew what the Almighty can do. This line comes from one of my favorite hymns, Praise the Lord the Almighty. And as I asked all of us to ponder anew, I was asking us to look to what God can do in and for our church. And so in the midst of this current financial situation, let's continue to ponder anew what the Almighty can do. Let's continue to look to what God can do even in this situation. Because we know and trust that God continues to be with us. He will provide, and He calls us to be faithful stewards. And let's see what God can do as we strive to be faithful stewards of that which He has given us. Well, that's all I have in this message. I hope all is well. And remember, Christ is with you, and He loves you. Take care. Bye.